Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm John Harcar, your host. I'm here with Peymon Hashimoto. Today we're going to talk about, creative finance and getting into deals with zero or really little out of your pocket. Guys at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs to 2 to 5x their business, by helping them build businesses they've always wanted to build that helps them live lives they've always wanted to live. So, Peymon, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
Good. After our talk a little bit earlier, I'm excited to dive a little bit more into the subject or the subject to the creative financing. That's always a structure that I've liked to go through. And before we do all that, a lot of our folks here might not know you. So tell them a little bit about yourself and how you got here.
Yeah, I'll try to make it fast, but I used to be a personal banker at Washington Mutual. In 2010, my personal banker friend was going through a short sale. I bought his house. It was a $90,000 condo in California. That's how I stepped into real estate in 2010. I sold that house for $249, so you can imagine the profit there. And then from there, I was just a long-term investor. I was doing, the classic pre-approval, 20% down, find an agent, make an offer, long-term rental, be a landlord. Mm-hmm. And I just quickly found out that is not truly passive income. All I'm doing is fielding calls on the first, excuses of why rent's not paid, right, or just a property manager who just parrots back what the problem is. I'm like, why are they taking 10%? Mm-hmm. And I kept trying to save money to get another set of problems. And I'm just like, oh, this hurts. And everyone's like, just get past 10 doors, 20 doors. It'll be better. And then I discovered creative finance.
There you go. So you got into the game not too long after the market took a crash, took a dive. Yeah. And you got into it you started with just traditional financing rentals.
That's right. Classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find out about creative finance?
Yeah. So as I'm struggling, I'm grinding and trying to come up with the next down payment. I developed a list of investors that I email and I say, hey, I found a new rental deal. I think it's going to get 10% cash on cash return, which in those days, and again, I don't know if these days, I don't do traditional anymore, but sounds great. Someone told me no. And I asked, well, normally, you just hear no and you got a couple of yeses and you run with the yeses. This time I asked why not, and that was the best no of my life so far. And then he just described to me creative finance. He's like, wait, he kept asking me. So I give you 20K, you put in 20K, we have 40K down payment. So 10% cash on cash return means what? In 10 years or so, we return back to normal. I get all my capital back. I'm like, yeah, but listen, there's appreciation, depreciation, there's all this other stuff. It's not just about the cash. And he was like, yeah, no, thank you. What are you doing? Why is there something you're doing better? Is there another deal I'm not aware of? So I try to ask more questions.
Mm-hmm, sure.
He just told me about subject to wraps. He gets all his money back within 3 months or less. and he makes passive income, and there's no property manager, no repairs, and there's an equity lock portion. I'm like, wait, so you're making money now and monthly and later? What's the downside? What's the catch? Yeah. I'm like, wait. Normally you have to take a hit. Like, okay, so you don't make money now, but you're going to make money passively, right? Which is the long-term rental, and it's not really truly passive. So anyways, that's exactly the way I got in.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, when you started to do these type of deals, how did you know how to structure them? I mean, did this gentleman teach you at all, or how did that all come about?
Yeah, literally, he name dropped some things subject to Pace Morby. Go look it up. I just needed to hear what he meant in the concepts, and then I started researching. Again, I think everyone has that period where they find something new, they watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and then that's the point. Is there action taken? Or that was just a cool educational binge and I'm done? Right. Or I have option paralysis where it's like, okay, that's cool, but then this new hot thing, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. So I watched all the videos. I came back to him. I was like, is this real? What do you mean no credit? No, what do you mean I don't get pre-approved? Like, I don't understand how it works. And he's like, I have a closing on Friday. Do you want to come and see? And I'm like, well, sure, but what are we experiencing? He's like, well, you'll come to the title company and you'll see the closing.
Right.
And I've done traditional docs before. So I went there and I was like, dude, this stack of paper is like crazy little than what I'm used to. And he's like, right. Yeah. So I'm about to go into another deal. And I'm like, how about this? I'll pay for the other deal. I'll pay for it. And just give me my money back. I don't want to return. Just walk me through. What do you mean no credit? And he showed me the documents. I was a fly on the wall, saw the whole process, and I was like, okay. Yeah. Let's start doing this for real. This can't be. This is a cheat code. What do you mean? No agents, no commissions, no banks, no what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, and you got fortunate to have someone walk you through it live and in person too, and that's probably huge. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, when you think about it, the whole skeleton of it, you're like, this. How does really that can't work that way? It can't be that easy.
Yeah, and it kind of rhymes with to go on a tangent. I mean, like, I think you always feel like when you're an investor, you're coming up like, oh, the rich know something you don't know, or they're just, you don't know, or behind the curtain or whatever.
Mm-mm.
And this really felt like that moment where I'm like, wow, knowledge is like, there is no, but there's no con. Like, I just tell people, like, this is what I do. I don't even know what my credit score is. Like, in the last 3 years, I haven't had to use my credit ever. And so it's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm buying houses all the time. Oh, it must be, oh, dude, it's so tough right now. Like, what are you getting? Like 7-8%? Are you buying down your rate? What are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean buying down? I'm getting like 2-3-4% mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean 2-3% mortgages? Oh, I'm not only just buying them 2-3-4%, but I'm jumping in at year 5 or year 6.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Early.
Like it gets even better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can close in 7 days. I don't ask my master, as I put it, the banks. I don't have that master looking over me like, oh,
when can I close?
I'm right. You didn't do this.
Yeah.
All the shackles are off.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned earlier, I think the one thing that you did that a lot of people don't is they get the information, they get the thing, and they don't do anything with it. They don't put forth that effort and they make those comments like, wow, must be nice. It's not hard. It's as long as you do it and be consistent at it, you're gonna succeed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is right. And sure, there might be things that you try and do the same things and they don't turn out well, but at least you're trying something different. And I think it's an Einstein quote, but you're doing the same thing and you think something's going to change. Isn't that the definition of stupidity or whatever?
Definition of insanity. The same thing
Insanity.
over and over again, expecting a different result.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And I was like, oh, here I am saving up for the next down payment for the next rental. And I just keep doing this. And suddenly at number 10 or 20, you're telling me things are going to change. Like, why would they?
Right.
They're not great now. And all I'm doing is adding to it. And so what's the worst that happens? I try something new. I get burned. Okay.
Yeah.
But, or the other side is I figure out something totally new.
And you run with it like you have. So, I mean, you can't really complain on that. So what does your team look like? Are you a one-man show? Do you have people doing all the stuff in the background for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So I have some VAs that do just general Facebook scraping, which is just going through Facebook, looking through deals, putting it in my spreadsheet. So little things like that. But I'm big on partnerships. And as a rule of thumb, I never try to own anything 100%. I try not to. Like, if a deal comes to me direct from seller and I have a chance to like buy it myself and seller finance subject to wraps, wrap being a seller finance wraparound mortgage, do the whole thing myself. I try not to. I'm like, okay, wait. Who has a better connection to sell the wrap better than me? Or how can I include somebody else? I'm always looking to so my team is just a team of a network of partners that I have that we've already worked together that I'm like, yep, I know he's better at that than me. She's better at that than me. How do I fit this puzzle to get as many pieces as possible?
Well, that's the abundant mindset that a lot of people don't have, because first thought is what?
That's right.
Why give up half of my stuff?
Yeah,
you know?
That's
and
right.
and I had that same approach when I went to a virtual market. It's like, why go and beat my head over against the wall to find those buyers when I can just go find someone in that market that has those and make that my life easier. And you're doing kind of the same thing, and it's an awesome way to go. Talk to me about some of your success stories. Like, how did this change your life? How did it make things easier? What did this whole structure or new process do for you?
Yeah, so it's like a total different relationship with like rentals and buying a new property. Whereas before it was like, okay, I get to save up. Don't spend that money. Looks nice in your bank account. Down payment. Oh, okay, all the money's gone, but at least you had another rental. But then I have another set of problems. Another person that has an excuse. Now I buy the property. Inside of 3 months, I get all my capital back plus profit. That's already good. On top of that, I collect a mortgage check, not a rental check. So there is no CapEx, no maintenance, no property management, just direct deposit. So now I can really count on, whereas before it was like, oh, I hit 4,000 passive. It's not really. You have 10 rentals, law of averages, someone's going to be late, someone's not going to pay rent. It never hits the exact number that you're predicting. Now it's always hitting that number. And when someone's late or doesn't pay, I get excited. It's a new relationship with late. Now I'm like, ooh, are we foreclosing? Are we taking the property back? Because that's amazing. They already put $40K down payment.
And then you just do it all over again.
And when you do it again, now it's all profit. Now your down payment has no cost, right? Because you already paid back the cost of acquisition. So it can only get better. And so for me, I'm just planting these seeds that can pop. The worst case for me is they sell and I get my equity portion. So if I buy it subject to, and the loan is $200K just for easy numbers, and then I seller finance wrap it to somebody after their down payment, let's say they owe me $240, the difference is $40K, and that's just sitting there. If they decide to sell in 7 years or whatever, then I get another 40K check. That's the worst case.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Have you had a loan called on you?
Oh, due on sale clause. No.
Yeah. No.
I am very paranoid about that. So I have read and talked to people that have, and it seems like every story, oh yeah, I forgot the insurance. Yeah, I didn't set that up right. I didn't do this, something. So I'm always like checklist of stuff to like how to handle it, how to prevent it.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that's a big thing is when a lot of people, and I know with my experience of when I got into it, thinking about, well, what if that loan's called, then I might be screwed. Yeah. So maybe share some of the stuff that you've done or steps you take that help.
Yeah, I would say first, you have to understand, once you understand the separation of ownership and debt, because that's what sub 2 does. You're like, what do you mean you take ownership? Doesn't the bank like get crazy? The analogy is when you go buy groceries with your Chase credit card, who owns the groceries? You do, because you have the receipt that you bought it. It doesn't matter what the debt is. That doesn't mean ownership. Then you start realizing the bank is in the game of performing notes, not in the game of owning real estate. They don't want to foreclose and resell. They are in, I want to lend money and have performing debt. Yep. So once you understand that, they're happy when the debt's paid. And then you understand they just want their debt properly insured. So when you buy a property, for example, John is the one who bought the property and is the guarantor on the loan. When I do a sub 2, I separate that. I own it. John is still the guarantor and holds the debt on the property. Okay. Now, if I do insurance and have John's name removed and just mine, that's going to trigger a red flag to the bank. We loaned John the money. John's not on the insurance. What if there's a total loss? Who am I cutting the check to? You got to make sure John is still an insured name on that policy. They won't be weird if it says John and Peymon. Who cares? As long as John's name's on there.
Right.
So you just got to know what they're looking for, and they're just trying to protect their downside. As long as you hit those marks, you're good.
Do you leave a policy in their name and create a secondary one with both your names?
No. So the biggest trigger is no insurance.
Is two policies.
Or two policies. That's right.
Okay.
Or incorrect insurance. So only one, not two, and definitely not zero. And so there's a bit of coordination with the seller there. Just kind of like, hey, okay. I just sent in the new policy to Chase. Go ahead and cancel your insurance. Right. Okay. And you want to communicate, because sometimes if you're just quiet, they'll be like, okay, great, I canceled my insurance. You're like, what? I didn't tell you to do that. Why'd you do that?
Yeah. So you got to be very communicative with when your seller when you're working and that type of stuff. So there's that part. What else? What else can help that not being called? Or is it just, are those really the two main things?
And payment. So another tip and trick is in a sub 2 wrap. For most people, maybe you draw it out as good. I'll use my hands or whatever. But you have the sub 2, and normal people hire a servicing company to handle the payment from the wrap buyer. So the person that you sell it to again pays their money to the title company. That title company distributes the mortgage check and to you. That is, I figured out the incorrect way of doing it, because if that mortgage underlying debt increases by $40, taxes and insurance go up, whatever, they don't know that. They're still cutting the same check. I set it up so that I'm auto paying the sub 2 mortgage.
In their portal? Or are you
in their
using like
portal.
in
That's
their
exactly
portal?
right.
Okay. Yeah,
So I
I've
asked for
done
the
that before.
login,
Yeah.
whatever. I set up auto pay so that way, no matter what increases, craziness happens, that underlying mortgage is taken care of.
Awesome.
And then I just have the servicing company. Hey, servicing company, it's super easy. Just accept payment from them and pay me all of it. That's it. That's
Easy.
it.
Easy
What do you mean?
peasy.
Do we have to cut a check to like the mortgage and then the profit check to you? No, no, no. Don't do all that. Please don't. Just
No.
do this, please. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and that's always the way I've always thought to do it is through their portal, but it makes sense. Some people do it different ways. How many total deals have you done? You've been doing this for, I mean, if we said what 2009, something about there 2010.
Yeah. So traditionally, I've been starting since 2010. Creatively, I've been doing deals for like 2, 3 years. I'm on
Okay.
deal 16, 17 now.
Okay.
Yep. Um,
What's your average deal size, if you don't mind sharing?
so what are we measuring in? Are we doing like mortgage?
Oh, well, that's right,
total
because
value?
you're not wholesaling, so I guess that's really not a number that's easy to come up to because they're all so different.
So I hold about 4.2 million in mortgage debt.
Awesome.
Right. Typically, when I take it over sub two and then I wrap it, I'm making anywhere from 2 to 12,000. Big spread there on down payment profit. That's the difference between cost of acquisition. We call it entry fee. Wholesalers know this when they're wholesaling their sub twos, and then that's the difference between that entry fee and that down payment from the seller finance deal. So anywhere from there, and monthly payments, man, they can range from like $100 to even $1,200 passive. Uh, so yeah, it's
And,
all over kind of the place.
and I know we talked about this beforehand, but what's kind of like one of the crazier situations that you've run across when you were trying to put a deal together or get something to the finish line?
Yeah, so a thing to know about creative finance or even seller finance when you come from the traditional world, you can name any term you want, anything. You have to buy me a new car every year. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. It's good. Anything you can go, right? So crazy story is there's a deal we're trying to buy subject to. The owner, they have power of attorney over their son. Their son is living in the house. They just ask, can you relocate? Can you just find a new home? And typically when you're negotiating this, because it didn't come from a wholesaler, so I'm direct to seller negotiating.
Oh,
You're
okay.
typically like, you don't want to just lead with like, okay, does that mean buy you a new house? Like you don't want to just put that out there and offer it, right? Like, is that what you mean? Because typically
Mhm.
people want to sell to buy a new house,
Right.
but you don't want to assume, right?
Right.
And so I'm just like, great. So what does that mean? Can you kind of walk me through what that means? Like, transition of finding a new place to live. They're like, yeah, so like if you're looking for rentals, I'm like, oh, looking for rentals, great. So we're not talking about that much money for a down payment for another house. Tick mark. So I'm just going through it, and it sounded too easy to be true. All they wanted in the end was just find my son a new place to live. We're not talking
Easy.
about put a security deposit down. We're not talking about pay the first 3 months of rent. We're not talking about to buy a new house. I was like, oh, this is slam dunk. Why do they need me to do that? And like, oh, maybe power of attorney, maybe the son is like disabled or something. I don't know,
On the
right?
spectrum somewhere, yeah.
I don't know. So I'm doing the walkthrough. I meet the son. He's a little bit socially awkward. I didn't think it was weird, but he was kind of weird, but whatever. And then later, when we're applying, I figure out, oh, he's an ex-felon and on the sex offender list. And I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
oh, and
That's why.
also, it makes me realize, like in real estate, dude, you can meet anyone, be in the house with anybody. You're touring the house. You don't even know what is going to
This
happen.
is true.
In my mind, I was thinking like, dude, if I was a female all by myself, or you don't know who you with.
Hmm.
That was like the craziest, I guess. One of the
That's
craziest where you're just, whoa, right.
that
In
is
a
that
high
is
school
that
fun.
is
Yeah.
that's a different situation. It'd be like a oh okay type of situation. What trends do you currently see right now in the industry? I mean, a lot of people, like let's talk like texting, for example, right? How are you generating your leads? What trends are you seeing that you'll be able to get more motivated sellers?
Yeah. So I normally try to buy from wholesalers. I I do have like a automated engine that I have that pulls lists from batch leads, Podio jumps in, auto emails, just to like low hanging fruit, easy. But I'm the buyer. I'm not trying to create an automated wholesaling business. It's not my
Sure.
goal. So
Sure.
normally I just buy from wholesalers.
Okay.
That's the normal way I like to buy deals from, or referrals. When you start doing so many deals, which is why I love subject to wraps, you're always buying and you're always selling,
Yeah.
right? You're always, if I was subject to midterm rental, I would have to buy, find private money, make my nest egg to buy the next one. So you have a delay.
Right.
But with subject to wrap,
With subject to your turning them.
yeah. And so then my stock in wholesalers' eyes are always up because I'm like always buying. What else you got? I'll buy that. I'll buy 5 deals. I'll buy 6. I don't care. And so you just build a better relationship. They just keep coming back.
Is there a goal you're trying to get to? Is there like a certain amount of houses? Are you trying to build your team? I mean, what does 2025 goals look like for you?
Yeah, so that's a good one. Most people try to focus on outcome. I'll try to focus on input. But realistically, you obviously have a end goal in mind. So I've already hit my freedom number or escape velocity.
Congratulations.
Names.
Yeah. Well,
So now I can live for free just from my wraps paying me. I'm good. I'm trying to make enough money now to retire my wife, my mother-in-law, more family members,
nice.
right?
And you're teaching people how to do this now too.
Yeah. And so now that I'm focused and hit a certain success marker, now I'm mentoring, which again, subject to is great. And Pace Morby, the leader of the community, always says, this is a community, not a mentorship. I'm not selling you a mentorship. I'm just telling you, hey, this is the playground. Here's the knowledge. Go do your thing. And so there's a place in that marketplace where some people are like, that's great. I identified, I like what Paymon's talking about. That fits my personality type. That's what I like to do. I like the subject to wrap stuff. So do I just teach myself, or like, is there somebody that's already doing this? And so I wish there was something like that out there. So now I'm like, hey guys, I can mentor you. I can teach you how to do this. We can have those
help them get to where they're needed to get or wanting to get quicker.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I've learned of like contracts and the wraps, like, oh, you want to structure this, oh, late fees, yada, yada. You want to do that, this. You're going to learn from all my mistakes, right? And so, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone, I mean, outside of do your mentorship, but what advice would you give to someone that's wanting to get into real estate investing?
I think the biggest thing is, this is the problem in real estate. There's so many different ways you can make money. So many. And the problem, people are always like, oh, but which one's the best way, yada, yada. Look inside first. That's it. Just look at who you are and your personality type. A lot of people say, ooh, wholesaling, because it's a new hot thing. Are you good at negotiating? Do you like calling all the time, talking to new people all the time, like being on the phones? If not, that's not the style of how you want to make money. Oh, but I see this guy, he posts his 40K assignment check.
The shiny objects, yeah.
Dude, who cares? It's not the way you want to do it. There's so many ways.
Because they're all going to work.
Yes. Be greedy and figure out who you are. And I want to make money doing nothing. I want to work, set up a process, set up something, and then go to the next thing. And that thing keeps paying me money forever. Subject to wraps. Buy it, dispo it, set it aside. It keeps sending you a check.
I love it.
People are like, yeah, sure. And just print money. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm very greedy. And now I identified a strategy that fits that. I thought it was traditional rentals until I found something better. And so for me, I identified the strategy, and then now I will grind at the path that I want to, instead of, I thought wholesaling was cool, so I developed some skills there. And then now I have to leapfrog to a new strategy because, like, that's what I truly want.
Found the trap you want to use, and what are we always trying to do? We're trying to make a better trap, right? You started with a trap, you made a better trap, and now you can maybe just make a better trap, you know?
That's right. And you enjoy, because too many people say, I want to wholesale to get enough money to get my first deal
To
what's
do a
your end
flip.
goal? Yeah. Do your end
Oh,
goal first. If you can
yeah.
highway over,
Yeah.
people say, oh, but you had 20 grand to buy your first sub 2 rep. You don't need it. You can ask a
Ooh.
transactional lender. We call them gator lenders. You go to them, they'll lend you the 20. You tell them, hey, when I find my down payment of 30, I'll give you 24,000 back in 3
Yeah.
months. Oh, I make 4K on lending on 20K. That's a great return. Yeah. So you don't need to go all this crazy route of learning how to
Mm-mm.
wholesale. Wholesale can be great, but I'm just saying for me, I don't like it. It's not my personality type.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice is learn who you are, then identify which strategy fits you. Not I have to analyze 19 different ways or 20,000 different ways of making money and then figure out which one's the best. Best to who?
That's incredible advice, and especially with the way the internet is now, and as we know, that shiny object syndrome, as you see one person, and this guy's making money, I can do that, and you spread out so thin, you don't put your focus like you did to build that better trap. And I think that's what I think is the biggest thing people can take away is, like you said, focus on you, who you be true to yourself, and build your trap.
Yeah. I mean, do I wholesale? I do because the deal doesn't fit what I want.
Yeah.
And then I wholesale it. Oh, but you made a 30K assignment. Oh, my brain doesn't go, oh my gosh, I should start wholesaling. My brain goes, great, that's 30K that goes towards my original goal. I got a little distracted, made some money. Okay, that 30K goes right back in. That's going to help my end path.
Definitely.
And that's another thing about, again, mentoring whoever you pick, that's cool. But part of that is someone who keeps you true on your path and not get distracted. It's just like personal trainers. Everyone knows what to do sometimes. They just need someone to hold them accountable and consistent. So it's knowledge plus consistency. Someone just like, hey, don't get distracted. Remember when you came to me? You said this was a success? Let's get there. There's also a value of partnerships, friends, mentors.
Sure. No,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. And I love everything you shared, man. I mean, and I really think that, especially folks getting into the game, there's some incredible words to hear and to heed. Well, Peymon, thank you for being on our show today. If anybody wants to reach out to you, wants to talk about your mentorship, wants to learn how to do subject to reps, how do they reach you?
Yeah, so my name is very unique, and it's easy to get a domain name called www.peymonhashimoto.com. Pretty easy. It's my website, so literally it's what I'm buying. There's a link there for wholesalers, my buy box, what I sell if I'm doing any wraps are on there. Coaching, you can book a call with me. I have 2 different styles. I'm on an application called Minect. So if you have just like one question, hyper-focused question, you can ask me, just pay for that. I think it's like $20 or something. People ask me all the time, like, hey, I don't need the whole mentorship. Just one question at a time, please. There's that. If I answer your questions, you like my style, we can talk about booking 20 hours. So that website can direct you to all that
Can
types of
get you
stuff.
wherever they need to go.
Or if you just want to partner, you're like, hey, I don't have anything buy or sell. I don't need a mentorship, but let's partner up. I'm also kind of doing same things. What can we do together? You can book a calendar call and we can just talk, chat.
Yeah, if you want to send me your calendar link, I'll put it on the show notes so that way folks can be able to, and I think I might have it already, but hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the show today. Once again, if you're new getting into this, I mean, these are definitely words you want to live by and know yourself and get creative. So Peymon, I appreciate you again, man. Have a great afternoon. Okay.
Thanks, man. Enjoy this.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.